Blunder, my latest novel. I'm going to try to cram a lot of stuff in right here. This is Twink, British musician, produced by Cat Stevens in his latest record, produced by Robert Plant before that. My sister met him in Hollywood. Here's the album right here. Think Pink 2. I'll show you a dedication and then we'll get on with it. This is John Alder right now, also known as Twink. Here's a track listing. My sister recites a poem on the first track, so we're gonna go ahead and take that one in the background. This is my sister right here. I'll show you the dedications. We're going to talk about not so much my work in progress, Blunder. We're going to talk about my first book, Zoton, from 2003. I wrote my first song with John Alder, Twink, and my sister. We're going to Del Taco. It was February 22nd, 2002. The reason I remember is all the twos. Second month, 22. That's my sister's voice right there. And right in here, we get to the special thanks. Right there, you see my name, Eddie Corona. And you'll see my sister's name, obviously, for writing credits. Right there, Dion Corona. So we'll talk about Zoton. I had mentioned, by the way, I'm not going to mute the music because, you know, someone's going to get mad about copyrights. I had mentioned this book right here from my History of Rock and Roll class. Robert Pilkey's You Say You Want a Revolution. Which basically says rock and roll is not just a revolution, it's a religion. And he goes into existential philosophy. We're talking about a few other things. I got my notes down here. Inside the Star Wars box, I got some stuff to talk about. This pink shirt, I wore this on my graduation day in 2011. I was going to the school during the 90s, school in Claremont. And then my last semester had a family emergency. And I didn't want to graduate until 2011. You know how that goes, right? Some of you do. But in 1998, I went to Venezuela on a study abroad program. Let's check out my passport. Guess who was running for office in Venezuela that year? Hugo Chavez. Hugo Chavez was running for office that year. And I'll show you real quick. You check it out for yourself. As far as when he was running for office, I got to be on the streets and it was very electric. No matter what people think of Venezuela and the situation there, it was electric down there. So, went on this journey where I meant to study engineering, accounting, a lot of mathematical stuff. I was very good at math. Then I went to a school that was very good in the arts. And I wound up playing a little keyboard, saxophone, xylophone, harmonica, guitar. And I'm not saying I'm great or anything, but, you know, I even wrote my book Zoton in 2003. It was originally meant to be a short story. I'm talking about a 15-page short story to promote one of my songs. And that's why I'm talking about this right here. I wound up recording 70 albums. Very low quality. I listened to something from Mike Judge where he was talking about doing Beavis and Butt-Head. My sisters met Mike Judge, by the way. And he was talking about how they were on such a deadline that a lot of the episodes sucked. If they sucked, I didn't know this. I really liked, you know, pretty much the entire franchise of Beavis and Butt-Head. This is lowbrow art. And the internet was this wild frontier early in the millennium. It's like, hey, it just needs content. It doesn't need to be a Disney super production. I watched a video on Hanna Barberra about why they went downhill. And supposedly they got real careless about their animation, and, you know, they learned to repeat the background. And you see someone running and they're running past the same pillar every split second. And it was meant to be a high quantity more than quality. But if the humor's there, it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to show you some of my CDs and DVDs. Right here, Metaphor Zoton. I made a movie using The Sims. Okay, this is at Homer Cocktail 7, by the way. And there were 3 chapters in the first of a trilogy. And here's, you know, parts 2 and 3. The 3rd chapter was real short, so I combined 2 and 3 together. I used The Sims. I made Avril Lavigne a character in my book. Then I wrote another book called Tidal, and I did the first 13 of 65 chapters. I made that into... This is scratch, so I can't show you anything. And for that one, I used Activision's movies. I use Magix to edit. I still use Magix, and this is like more than 10 years old. I love this program. I started off with Pro 10. 15's okay, but I like Pro 10 better. I master my music and engineer my music using this still. I love this. This is from 2007. I love this. Like I said, I was using Sims. I even did a comedy album, a few of them actually, called Technical Difficulties. So we're gonna, damn, we're already at 9 minutes. I meant to get through a lot more. Maybe I'll do a 2-part series. Or maybe I'll just make this into like a 12 or 13 minute video. Now this trash bag here, I'll open it up real quick. This is to show I tried. This is just to show that I tried. This is 100 stack. You know, this thing's 100 stack. This one's 50, 50, 100, 100, 50, and I sent out hundreds upon hundreds of stuff that I've produced to studios around the world. Okay, there's addresses to, you know, this is just random right there, right? I just open it up. If I highlighted it, it means I sent it there. I studied business law, and I started my own corporation. My first pseudonym was God Rockefeller Enterprises. So I did the company corporation. This is a great place. And when I lived in Hollywood, that was my P.O. box. 7070 West Sunset Boulevard. It's no longer there. That was the Internet Cafe. Now it's some kind of food place. But I took business law, so I learned how to do that. We're going to try to do this quick as we can. Okay. So, I just want to let people know a slice of the journey, and it takes a long time. I have some pictures somewhere, and meant to have them a little more organized, but I thought they were down here at my feet. Yeah, did I mention one of the Survivor contestants wore this pink? I probably did, huh? Anyhow, I'm probably gonna go. It's really important to me. Maybe if I could spend just a few seconds checking. I was gonna do a reading from Blender right here. But I really, here's a few things. Here's a few things real quick. We can knock this out. We can knock this out and keep it less than 15 minutes. Before going to Claremont, I went to a community college and I got degrees in liberal arts and communications. When I wrote Zoton, this is my family, I kept a yin-yang near me to try to keep things balanced as well. I mentioned my sister. There's me when I was younger, and there's my sister. This is my grandfather. Passed away in 1994. He used to play guitar. This is this land right here. About 20 years ago, used to have old cars here. This is John Alder and me, and my dog at the time. I used to have long hair. My sister used me as a photo op for her song Bluebeard. I used to have a long beard, and you can see it was painted a little blue right there. The camera's not focused there. And I think that's going to do it for now. I try to keep these at 10 minutes, but this one ran a little longer. I just want to blurb that out there. Blender's still a work in progress. I meant to do a reading, but maybe I'll still do it and do another video. But as of now, I'm going to take off.